Righty.
Righty.
Ronaldo.
Brown.
Stephen Howson. This is the XG Files. I got to ask you though, before everyone jumps down my throat, I didn't come up with this title. Who did?
The producers.
What he means by that is Ronaldo did. What are you trying to tell me here anyway? What's going on? Why does it say Rashford? Marcus Rashford's future. Let's not talk about much of an overreaction to the way he's been playing. It's been a few months, guaranteed.
No, this isn't like a reaction in terms of his future is in doubt in terms of against him. I think this is a self-proclaimed kind of future in doubt situation.
Okay, go on.
So
he thinks his future's in doubt.
That's what it see. I don't know the way they've kind of worded it on Sky and on the Telegraph. It's almost like he's meant to have contract talks, but you see what Rashford's like. He's very much a free thinker. He's very passionate, especially when it comes to United and his football. I think like he'll get in his own head a little bit about what's going on and what he feels like is going to be best for him, what he needs to do. Because quite often, what we've seen in the past couple of years is he's been putting all that aside and putting, in terms of his injuries, his mental state, what he's going through, he just always focuses on going out on the pitch and doing what he can for United. And that's probably what's backfiring him at the moment in terms of people have said that he's lost half a pace, like half a yard of pace. He looks a little bit run down. He looks like every single time he gets a knock, it seems to linger a little bit longer and it's a bit more needly. But I'm not the one that's basically saying that it should be gone. I definitely don't believe that, but I'm saying it's...
So what's this report about? You say there's been some sort of report, some quotes as well, which might make it semi-legit.
I get the quotes up for you. It was literally...
While you're finding them out...
It was the Telegraph. So.
I'll put my own spin on this. So while you're doing that, there was something I saw the other day which said 4 times in his career, Marcus has played 50-plus games for United. And Wayne Rooney only did it, I think, once or twice in his... think how long Wayne Rooney's career... And Wayne Rooney was also the kind of cat that we also thought was burning out at times as well.
I was going to say that. That's been mentioned quite a lot. Actually, in the last 6 months, people that have been kind of backing Rashford in his corner have said he could be a victim of what we've seen from a lot of young players that have made a breakthrough at big clubs early, is that they get burnt out.
Michael Owen definitely was one player that got burnt out, and injuries literally shortened his career. Patrick Kluivert could be another one. Original Ronaldo could potentially be another one. Players, especially pacey players, literally you just nail on the head there. Pacey players struggle, I think. Your brother's a sprinter, right? And your sister, actually. They're both sprinters. Sprinting's an injury-rigged game, innit? Injury-laden sport. Sprinters, elite sprinters, the very, very best of ones, probably the ones that end up with the least injuries, I would say. There must be so many prospects that just never make it because they couldn't overcome relentless injuries. I'm thinking like someone like Ethan Laird, very explosive, very fast player, struggled with injuries. Marcus has been all right with injuries until the last 18 months or so, and he's not actually been plagued with the injuries that end up doing a lot of sprinters or fast players. Usually it's hamstrings and knees. He's not had that. He's had an ankle problem, which I think you can probably overcome, although it's probably going to be sore for you. I don't think it's going to be...
With ankles, I think when you do an ankle injury, it's one of those, it does linger for a long time.
It's a complex joint,
It's a complex joint. Like, it does... They say it never fully, heals, especially when you do a ligament. They say sometimes it comes back. It doesn't come back stronger, does it? It just comes back a little bit... You're very likely to re-sprain an ankle once you've done it, or you re-twist it. It becomes a little bit more looser.
I broke an ankle and had ligament damage to it and developed arthritis in it.
Yeah.
That's what's done me in at the minute. And I wake up, it's just in agony every day with it.
But a lot of it is the issues with the fact that obviously a lot of your lower body and your lower extremities, they're kind of linked in terms of ligaments and the different areas. So obviously with your body being quite clever in terms of what's beneficial for you, is, for example, if you have got a bit of a bad ankle, you start to put strain on other parts of your body, and then that other parts of your body start to break down, and it's a bit of a knock-on effect, because your body has obviously a kind of a self-awareness to it that your ankle's a little bit dodgy. It needs to kind of take a little bit of weight off, a little bit more strain, so they make it probably a little bit more on your calf, a little bit. Obviously, I don't know exactly scientifically, but I do know that it can take a toll on the rest of your body, and that's just generally how it is. I don't know if that's connected to how he injured his back or how he's kind of struggled in other
I
areas
think
of body
his
muscle
back
wise.
was an impact.
Impact. I thought it was like a stress fracture kind of thing.
I could be wrong, but I think it was an impact. Well, you look at the injuries that he's had. He's not had like recurring ones in the same area. His shoulder was one that seemed to never really heal, but you can probably play without your shoulder. I mean, he did, didn't he? He played for a long time wearing a bit of a support, getting it taped up and kind of just strapping it up and going on.
And when he broke into the United team, he was a little bit, he wasn't a very thick set lad, weren't he? He was a bit wiry.
He's put on some serious timber.
And he's put on a lot of timber since he started.
He struggled with, the one injury he did struggle with, I don't know if it's an injury or a condition, I don't know enough about it, which is that Osgood Slatters. You've heard of a few players that have had that, which is
that like, shins?
Yeah, real bad growing pains. And I think he had a lot of time off. And I think the hype around Rashford wasn't as high as like an Angel Gomez or even a Callum Gribbin really coming through, because the time when you start to build all that hype, he was in and out of the team as he was dealing with the Osgood Slatters. But since he's broke onto the scene, I think he's played himself almost to the detriment of himself. And people are really rewriting history on him last season. The amount of goals and assists that he provided last season was an elite amount for a young winger. An elite amount, literally. And people demanding more. And we want to see that progression from him. You can't look at anyone. I mean, Bruno Fernandes has been shocking this year. Ronaldo's numbers are down for what he had last year. Every single player in the club is down.
Cavani's is down.
Marcus seems to have took the brunt of this. Now, this is coming on the back of, obviously, he took a bit of extended period of time out following the Euros. I mean, I told his whole lot that I wouldn't have took him, but I know that he wants to play for England.
I think what they're doing is he's taking a brunt because of, I think what's irking fans the most is even beyond his performance, it's they're kind of getting onto him, especially going to the game the other day when you let me go.
So let him go. I'm not his fucking dad.
I always say but you know what I mean anyway.
Here's what happened. I was stuck in London. My ticket was available, so I give it Ronaldo. It's like letting you go.
That's still letting me go. Do you mean?
It's letting you have my ticket. It's not letting you go.
What is it?
That's me nicely.
Said the other day, potato. Is that?
No, it's not even the same. It's just shut up. Let you go.
But nah, it's I think it's his body language and his certain reactions and the way that he seems to be a shell of himself in terms of his belief and his confidence, and that kind of thing and aura does resonate throughout like fans and the stadium, because you know what fans first want to see. They want to see
people are questioning. People question his commitment. I don't know how far wrong you can have it with him. He ain't playing good. For anyone who thinks it's me defending his performances, it ain't. But never question the guy's commitment to United. The guy literally played with a broken back for us. You know, the guy played on through so many injuries. Quite possibly the knock-on effect of all of that is what we're seeing right now. I believe he's gone through a breakup, but I don't know that. Yeah. It's not something I'm privy to. If he has, then that might have some sort of impact in him, I guess.
I think
is he going to be someone that benefits from this psychologist that we've got in?
I think he would do. I think he definitely would, but when I'm thinking about him and his body, what people are referring to his body language, and that hasn't been good. Kind of his reactions to stuff, he's not running back. He's looking like he's sulking a little bit. But I don't think that's generally focused on his commitment. I think that's more the flip side of him being. See how pissed off you are with his performances and what he's doing. I think he's even more so.
Well, I was going to compare it to Ronaldo. So, Ronaldo's been throwing his arms around, and Ronaldo's been like punching thin air and kicking off and this, that, and the other. And I think that some people perceive that as being petulant and spitting your dummy out and this, that, and the other. But I think it's frustration.
It's a demand, isn't it?
And they're not being able to do what they can do best. And I think Rashford's probably more upset with himself than any of us could be. And I know people are just going to be like, just fucking saying this is an academy product. Not necessarily. There's academy products out there that are going to get, or because he's English. Jesus Christ, had an agenda apparently against fucking Luke Shaw and Ashley Young for how long? Make your mind up. I don't think it's anything to do with those things. I think the evidence is what he's done for the last 5-6 years in the United shirt.
Exactly, and on the quotes,
I think it gets him credit in the bank.
Yeah, it does. It does. But on what we're talking about him and his commitment or whatever, some of the stuff that was said.
So you got the quotes.
The quotes. What is quotes from the Telegraph, and it was saying that Marcus Rashford is so desperate to learn that he puts himself through triple training sessions. Hang on.
Is this Henry Winter?
No, it's not Henry Winter. But it's Telegraph, so I don't know his exact name.
Is the Telegraph in Henry Winter? Is it the Telegraph? Is that?
It's the Times.
Times.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Come on, man. That's my mate. No, I'm joking. Don't quote me on that. Good guy though. But now he's saying that Marcus Rashford is so desperate to learn that he puts himself through triple training sessions, spends up to 12 hours a day at Carrington, and quizzes Cristiano Ronaldo on what he eats, but also on what specifically his muscle mass was at Rashford's age, and so on. Marcus Rashford is upset by the accusation that he lacks commitment given his love for United. If anything, Rashford cares too much and has on occasions taken on too much responsibility and sacrificed himself for United. Those were the quotes.
It does sound like that's been directly briefed, I think.
Yeah, I think he does. Rashford does directly brief it. I know he does. He speaks a lot with Henry. So that's why you thought if it was Henry, you'd pretty sure it would be nailed on.
I'd just go, well, that's
that's legitimate. But
mouth, yeah.
No, that was what was.
That feels like it's come from him or his team, I would say.
Yeah.
And I would tend to agree with it. And I don't think
some people might argue that it's his team throwing out PR, but I don't think. I feel like it sounds pretty legitimate.
I know Marcus and his team, right? So I know where this is coming from, and I have got no problem for anyone to be like, that's why you're not criticising. Literally sitting there criticising it. Literally sitting there criticising it. But you got to be intelligent about how you increase. I don't mean intelligent. It's got to be accurate.
Exactly.
You can't just be like Ronaldo. He don't give a fuck about United. Lies. It's just not the case. Or you can't be like, oh, he should fucking stick to feeding kids.
Yeah.
If you actually think how much time Marcus spent on any of those campaigns, it's fucking less than 95% of the other players spent on Tinder, I bet. I guarantee.
I very much doubt any footballers are on Tinder unless they're using fake names, fake profiles.
No. I wonder if there's a fucking special level one, some sort of sugar daddy one. There's got to be on there. Got to be on there.
That shows how out of touch you are with this.
It does, yeah. Fair play.
Those are the words of a married man for how he is. Hasn't got a clue about the date.
I haven't got a fucking... No idea.
Scooby in it.
No idea. I know you're swiping one way, but I don't know which way means what. So swiping, whatever. But yeah, I think there's footballers that are spending more time playing fucking Fortnite or fucking Call of Duty or some shit than he spent on those campaigns. And you got to remember, like they're saying there, if you're spending up to 12 hours a day at Carrington, a lot of that will be watching tape. They generally eat up to all 3 meals at the training camp as well. He'll be on meal prep stuff as well, so that's likely either getting delivered there or to his house, one of the two. And this isn't unique to Rashford. There's a lot of players that are doing that. There's a lot of players that are getting extras and stuff like that. I wish that they'd been more open about it, because people would realise and see what it's about and see, like, here's some stuff I know about what Marcus was doing. I'm trying to think if this is before the operation or this is before his operation. So Marcus has a physical therapist. So not a physiotherapist, he's a physical therapist. And it's a little bit different to a personal trainer or a strength and conditioning coach. Yeah. But I know that guy was trying to balance out. Footballers generally are imbalanced osteo-wise in their bones because of kicking a ball hard. So if you're heavily right-footed like David Beckham, he will have displacement in his hips and one foot will be longer than the other.
And his left leg will probably be heavier.
Weaker. No, he'll probably be heavier on his right leg.
I've told you this time and time again, especially with footballers and people, your weaker leg's heavier than your
is
right.
It?
Because
okay,
where do you generate all your force from kicking a ball? It's actually opposite leg.
Is it?
Not obviously your right quad, but you plant and kick, you plant with your left. I think that's the case with me, and my left leg is heavier than my right leg. And generally they say that that's the case with, if you're a right-footed player, because obviously you do a lot of swinging or whatever with your right foot. But when you're doing all that, planting and generating force, it's your other leg to do it.
Okay, maybe it is. Maybe it's the other way around. But I know Beckham's was longer on his right, and that they were saying that was because of the technique that he uses.
Yeah,
was very much one that was putting extra strain on his right side, and he was heavily right-footed when he rarely used his left.
Yeah,
and obviously 20 years of just repeating that technique, it's going to have biological adaptations. So Marcus was having a physical therapist that was trying to balance out some of his muscles, and that would be doing things to sort of redress where he had, like, I know that there's a lot of footballers at the minute, and especially, the Manchester Institute of Health and Fitness next to the Etihad.
Yeah.
That'll do bone scans and that'll do muscle scans to the point where it can tell you every single muscle broken down how many grams it weighs. Brendan, the MMA fighter that I know, he'd gone there, and I think Mokaev had gone there. But Brendan come in, he was like, they broke down like, his biceps, his triceps, they're this many grams, this many grams, this many grams, and he found he had imbalances all over the place. This leg's like 400 grams heavier than this leg. This bone is way denser than that bone. You've got muscle on the front of this leg, but not on the back of this leg. And that's the one, especially with sprinters as well, that's the one where you can get a lot of injury prevention, because people generally overdevelop the quad, the front of the quad. They underdevelop because fucking pain in the ass to train, innit? Training your hamstrings.
Oh, listen, you're talking to someone that very much lives and breathes that. Whenever I go, if I'm doing anything, it's going to be calves and quad work. Quad work because aesthetics, and I'm thinking I'm kicking a football, but hamstrings and glutes and those areas of your body in the gym, they're usually the toughest gym exercises as well. That's
pound for pound, the best things for
they're the best things for football,
train.
power, speed, everything. But
there's a couple of exercises I'm aware of for hamstrings. One's Romanian deadlifts, where it's a slow, lowering of the bar with your legs locked out. And then the other one is, if you've seen this one, I'm not sure what this is called. I think they're just called descents. Essentially, you'll kneel down, you'll have someone on your ankles at the back, and you'll just allow yourself to fall forward.
I know that it's Nordic. I used to do them all the time. It's used as hamstring activation, actually.
Is it activation? Not strengthening?
It does strengthen. It could do strengthen if you add weight, but they use it as activation before training, because I used to do it quite a lot.
But that's apparently one of the best ones, pound for pound.
Like
one of the best exercises for people to do for hamstrings. Get Keno on probably to have a chat to him about what it is with that.
It feels like your hamstring's going to pop, though, when you do that.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Fucking horrible. I'll try doing it at my size. Fucking Christ on a bike.
Wait, do you do him?
I do him, yeah. I got to look after my fucking knees, mate. My knees are in pretty good... Why am I getting laughed at here?
I can't picture
Considering
you doing,
what...
I can't picture you doing Nordic curls. I can't...
in my gym, there's... what would you even call it? It's a piece of apparatus, I guess you could call it, which has got stops, so like big padded stops for your feet to go in.
Okay.
Because I go in the gym on my own. Yeah. I get weighted out. And if you're the guy that come and fucking hugged me as I was going to the gym the other day, stop it, mate. Honestly, you fucking blew my mind.
Okay, do you get up quickly when you land?
Huh?
Do you get up quickly when you
Wait, are you starting from the bottom coming up?
No, you start at the top going down. Then go down.
Yeah.
But you end up having to land, don't you?
Yeah. You start with your arms by your side. I'm not putting my arms by my back. I'm going to smash my face in.
Yeah, okay. Nah, hands by your side.
Yeah, hands by my side so I can get them out just in time. And I'll get to halfway down. And I'll get
that's impressive.
Ronaldo, I need to talk to you about balls. It's a new year. It's new me. People are right in the middle of that New Year's resolution, that January, let's all get fit, let's all sort our lives out. Bullshit. What you need to do is you need to sort your balls out, mate. That's what you need to do. You want to go into the new year with good balls. No one goes out in January, that's fine. You don't have to go out, but you've got to have your balls looking good. And our friends at Manscaped are saying Happy New Year. The ball has officially dropped, but that doesn't mean that you have to drop the ball on your balls. It's time to bring sexy back in 2022 and up your game with Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0. 4 million men worldwide trust Manscaped to give them the best balls that you could ever have in New Year. So go to manscaped.com, use the code XG20. Listen, we're giving you 20% off and free shipping. The package itself is class. You get all sorts in there. You've got your trimmer. You've got your skin-safe technology on there. It's got a 4,000 K LED spotlight. So you can do it in the dark. You can do it in the garden at the bottom of your street. You can do it anywhere you need. You don't need to bring your own illumination. It's got it right there on the device. So if you're one of those weirdos that wants to cut your spuds in the dark, you can do this, and you can use it in the shower, and you can do it wherever you want. You've also got a crop preserver, you've got anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You want fresh balls that look good, smell good, and are going to be good. That's what you need, isn't it? Yeah. That's what you need in 2022. You need the proper balls for the job. Manscaped have got you covered. It's the code XG20, and you know what? If you're looking for a gift for someone in your life, especially a bloke, you can't go wrong with Manscaped. For the man who's got everything, he's not got ball trimmers, has he? Sort him out. XG20 is the code. 20% off, free shipping, manscaped.com. You know what to do. Back to the show. I was chatting to Joe before. We've got targets for 2022. We've got strength targets for 2022. Have you got any targets for it, gym-wise? Or are you just going with flow?
Bigger legs.
Bigger legs. Well, maybe we're getting a mix out. Should we share? Should we share what we're doing?
For sure.
So I was chatting to young Joe Smith. Joe's fucking strong, you know.
I've been saying that for ages. I found out Joe was strong from playing against Joe Smith in six-a-side, and
he's actually a lot better player than you think.
Nah, he's a decent player, Joe. He's like a bit Andy Carroll-ish. But like, he literally just touched me slightly with like his left arm and he fended me off, and it felt like a fucking metal pole.
What is he, 6'5"?
He's like 6'4", yeah, 6'4"-ish.
He's a fucking big boy.
Big boy.
So this is mine for this year. This is where I'm trying to get to. The ones at the bottom are the ones where I'm going to be struggling with.
Okay. Benching, your goal is 140.
That's 140. It's 320 plates aside.
Yeah, but
feels big boys weights.
They say you should get to that though.
I should get
strength wise because your body weight.
I've been to that when I was a lot smaller, so I will get back to that.
Lifts, overhead press 100 kgs, going to be fucking good going.
I've done that. I've done more than that, but I just want to get back to that.
Squat 180, yeah, that's doable. Press up 75 press ups in a row
in 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes, so like you can take breaks, but yeah, still
just in 2 minute times.
Yeah, I reckon I could do 75 in a row. Pull ups 15. Your current 0.
Current 0. 19 stone Ronaldo. That's hard graft.
15. 15 is tough for
it's just trained. You're not doing it regularly.
It is very muscle memory, stuff like that.
When I used to work in a gym, if you went under any doorway, you had to do 3 pull-ups. That's what you owed the gaffer. And we did fucking press-ups and pull-ups like you would die if you didn't. So I couldn't do any, even when I was lighter, because it was not something I did regularly. But you get good at them when you end up doing fucking loads. And 3 is a great number to do, because you can do. I mean, I probably can't do 3 at the moment. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I'm doing lat pull downs of 100 kg. I bet I'm not far off.
I always, whenever I'm doing lat pull downs of machines, because I'm generally someone that likes to do body weight stuff, I'm always thinking I need to at least be doing my body weight and above. And it's weird though, because I can do pull-ups quite comfortably body weight, but when I go on those machines, I'm doing like 70 plus, which is around my weight on kg. It feels a lot more difficult.
Well, it's slightly different memories. The weight's in different places as well. So yeah, I reckon you do something with, like, you can do 3. Let's say you can't do a single press up. Well, there can't be anyone who can't do a single. How are you getting up in the morning, right? So
loads of people can't do a single press up.
Oh, they must be able to. Come on, let's say you can't do 10 in a row, right? So you're pretty weak. You're detrained or whatever you're at. You can do 3, right? You do 3. Tomorrow you do 3. Day after you do 3. And as you keep doing 3, it's going to get easier.
I think Skaman can do 3.
What?
I think Skaman can do 3.
Do I think Skaman can do 3?
I didn't say that. You said that.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I reckon he could do 3.
You said it out loud.
He can do 3. I mean, he only weighs 8.5 stone.
I'm going to ask him upstairs.
What do you reckon, 8 3/4 stone?
Nah, he's not that light. Come on, man.
Is he 10 stone?
I'm nearly 12 now.
Yeah.
11 3/4.
If I can get back to doing 140 on bench, and I nearly smashed my teeth in the other day on the bench because I didn't have a spot.
That's rule number 1 when you're doing any sort of weight, especially with bench. If you're going on your own, don't push your limits.
I've been repping 100.
Only go comfortably. Don't push your limits when you haven't got a spot.
I've been doing 100, and I've done about 7 or 8 sets. So I was pretty well blooded up and pretty well tired, and had a bit of lactic acid going on, and I felt strong. So I was like, Joe, I'm just going to put 120 on. Put 120 on. Now I was telling you about this the other day. I think the bar that I was using, the bar's got a little bit of do the stops.
Yeah.
But the bar's curved round like this. So the stops that are lower down is like way further in front of the other 2. And I'd never thought about them or anything. And I was like, I don't fucking like... when I go in the gym, I just don't fucking talk to me, and I won't talk to you, and just fucking leave me alone, right? So I'm not going to ask anyone to spot me. I'd rather just die, actually, to get fucking crushed.
See, this is what... Hey, gym ain't a place for pride, you know? It's not...
So I put 120 on, and I lift it off, and it felt all right, to be honest. And then as I lowered it, I went to go back up.
You hit the wall.
Yeah, game over. And it just went fucking gadunk, and it stopped there, right? Like right in front. I thought it was going to smash my jaw in, and it stopped right there. And as I've looked, them lower rungs have caught it, thank fuck for them. I was like, I didn't even know they were
You
there.
had to like slide out.
I had to do some Matrix shit to get out of it, yeah. But I got out of it and I was like,
What time was this?
it's about 9 o'clock at night. 10 o'clock
so
at night.
not everyone. So weren't loads of people there looking at you like, what's this geezer doing?
There's about 3 people in the gym. I go purposely when it's dead.
Because I've personally seen it when someone's been doing bench press on a decline, lifting well too heavy, and it's fell like paused on him down here, landing, and he was struggling, and then someone's seen him, like it was quite a busy time as well. Someone's seen him, just ran over. People have picked it up off him. He's been in that situation. He's not like saying help me or anything. He's just there like that. Like struggling. I'm thinking someone's had to run over, pick up the size. It's some big weights for someone his size. I was like, you are pushing it, especially if you're on your own. But
so, yeah. Well, I did 120. Luckily, that bench saved me. But I'll give me a bit more confidence now to go fucking bananas on now. Because I've been sort of within myself and not pushing because I haven't had a spotter. But that bench is my spotter. Well, he's not going to spot me. He's going to fucking save me, though. It's going to stop me getting my fucking head caved in.
Do you know what I mean?
So anyway, for those who are interested, I'll screenshot this and I'll tell Will when he edits it to put it in. So I want to get my bench press back up to 140. I want to do 200 kg on deadlift, over 100 on overhead press, 180 on the squat, 75 press ups, 15 pull ups will do me. Again, like in 2 minutes or something. Plank 120. I reckon I could probably do that actually, but I just haven't been timing them. Plank's pretty straightforward. And then I want to do 1.5 mile run under 10:30, ideally under 9, but I think that's probably not fucking possible at my current size at least anyway. I'm like £30 down, probably a bit less than that actually now because I put a few pounds on, so I'm probably about £28 down from earlier in the fucking year. I feel like shit today. I had the booster jab yesterday.
Is that why you feel like shit?
I feel dumb.
Because you had the jab?
Yeah, I feel fucking well dumb.
Interesting.
I didn't even want to bring this up with him.
I just said interesting. Anyway, moving on. Do you know what I mean? Saint Joe Rogan. No, but I feel like obviously going back, because before we dip and finish, Sky did actually come out with a bit of a statement. I don't know if Sky, what tier they are. I think they range between tier 1 and
an absolute shit
and 100. But they did tweet out earlier saying Marcus Rashford does face a big decision over his future at United. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not sure whether that's from his side or from the club side. I don't see it from the club side. I think they see Rashford as like a long-term golden boy, big investment. I think a lot of the fans are kind of been critical on his performances over the last 18 months. Obviously, he's had stats and numbers to back it up, but I think it's because we've seen Rashford and the fans have seen Rashford from 18 and how much promise he's shown, and he has fulfilled quite.
He's developed.
He's
like
developed.
But developed in 3 years.
The argument is people are not seeing him kick on to the heights that they expected at this time. Because what I'm talking about is, for example, look at the likes of Mbappe, right? Rashford, when he was 21 and Mbappe was 21, they were neck and neck as young stars. And people have kind of comparing it, saying Mbappe seems to have kicked on a level or two and Rashford's not.
Maybe, but because if you just put, apart from the last 6 months where he's been dead, but if you'd have put Rashford in France, I don't think the numbers would have been far off, if at all.
That was always my thought process. I was always thinking, I personally think Mbappe, Rashford, especially I thought a few years ago, particularly not now. I can't be. I thought they were very neck and neck in terms of very similar.
I've seen some fucking shit shows from Mbappe, but because it's not a match of the day, because it's not as watched as the Premier League, they don't get highlighted. Some fucking bizarre decisions from him that I know Rashford would be crucified for. But
I will say bigger scrutiny playing for. The issue is playing for United. You're not going to be any more scrutinised. What are you saying? Hello. All right, Sophie. Like, you're not going to get any more scrutinised than playing for Manchester
United.
And
I do think that's too big for players sometimes. Yeah. I think that some players, that might be the case with Sancho. That might have overwhelmed him. Any player that we've ever spoke to goes, I played for a big club. Fucking hell, when I got to United, oh my God, the intensity, the pressure. So many players. Even Rio. Rio was like, played for West Ham, played for Leeds, played in the Premier League before. How different could it be? He's like, well different. Like, just mind-blowingly different.
Eyes, it's like, you can't put a foot wrong. It takes a serious... That is why you see kind of how we've felt by the wayside slightly over the last few years as a club, is because we haven't had a lot of players that have been able to cope with the weight of the shoulder, the weight that shirt carries. Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit like you need very specific characters, and it seems like a bit of an overused term. It sounds a bit cliche-ish, but it's true.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean?
I think it was Alan Tong yesterday did a tweet. It was Robbo's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Robbo. And he was saying, to understand the mentality of Brian Robson, before matches, Brian Robson used to like Vaseline up his eyebrows. Because in his head, he was going to put that fucking head places that it might get fucking cut and knocked.
Like a boxer.
Like a boxer.
Yeah.
Now, that mentality might be a bit too old now because it's less physical. By degrees, it's less physical than it was in the 80s and early 90s. It just is, right? It's a different game. But there's no one with that mentality that I'm going to fucking put myself in places where I'm getting hurt. And I'm not even like not a bit arsed about it. I'm just going to prep myself for it. Like I'm going to war.
The only person.
The only one that comes close to Vidic. Well, Phil Jones maybe does, but
I'm saying in the current squad, but like
I don't know if Phil Jones does it out of.
He does it a bit.
It's
like,
a different.
Yeah,
he
does it in a bit of a goofy way, innit?
Yeah. Whereas Vidic looked like I'm going to war, and didn't he once say, "Broken nose"? I mean, like, what a fucking quote this is, by the way.
Yeah.
Broken noses heal, but my pride will never heal if I don't fucking put my head in there.
Yeah.
Yes, Vida. Oh my God, yes.
Scientifically, he's wrong.
But
I think some broken noses don't heal, did it?
Where's the fucking line? There is no line. I will do anything to fucking win, and I don't see that in the current squad.
No, it's true, but
although I think you give him a little bit of fucking credit. He was halfway there, playing for a fucking broken back and that. Stupidly, I might add, but you know, he was.
That's why. That's part of my thinking. A lot can be said about his performance and whatever, but I think a lot of what his performance is what he's been through in the past 18 months does come down to him probably playing a lot of games when he shouldn't have. Agreed. And how he was kind of managed. Because I felt like there were a lot of times last year, especially under Solskjaer, you're probably going to take us at criticism, but I feel like Ollie was the type where, Rashford's basically in a wheelchair. He's starting tomorrow. I felt like he had a lot of that about him when it came to Rashford. I feel like even if Rashford came to the club or Ollie was like, I feel like I probably need to be rested this game. And even though he probably wouldn't want to say that because he strikes me as someone that wants to play every single match. I think Ollie would just be like, no. I think there was a general vibe around that, and I think he might be paying for it now, actually.
Big time.
Do you know what I mean?
Right, there was loads more that I wanted to cover, and there were some questions from you guys, but we got to use the studio, so we're going to have to wrap this up, keep this one a little bit shorter than usual, but we'll keep them fucking waiting. We could even do an extra episode of XG to put out over the weekend, potentially. Yeah. We'll see how it goes, but cheers for tuning in. Make sure to go check out, link in the description. Go give Manscaped a little bit of support. Obviously, they support the channel, so go check them out. Use the code XG20 and you'll get 20% off and free shipping, and your balls will definitely thank you. Cheers for tuning in. Make sure to go follow Ronnie, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.